right? Because it's the end of the school year
end
for
of
our
the
kids and everything. So report cards are coming. So with this segment, what we do is that myself and Shooting Star are going to throw out some things that are going on in the WWE right now. And we're going to grade them on what we think on a scale of A to F. So as always, gentlemen, first, Mr. Shooting Star Press, what do you got for me?
Oh man. Okay. Let me go through my list here. All right. I'll give you a hard one to start off. But
Okay.
Triple H as head of creative since he took over, how would you grade him?
You know what? I'm going to be, because he's my boy from DX forever. I'm going to say A minus. I'm going to say A minus. Yeah. And you want to know why I'm going to do A minus? Because nothing in life is perfect, right? And I'm grading him on a curve. So that, which means I'm going to grade him from his predecessors, from when he was doing it to now. And since Triple H took over, he brought people back who needed it. He made belts feel important. He's had the bloodline storyline get even better. He's built in people like Judgment Day. And he made AEW better because AEW is sucking it up. And now they are so much better because they had to push their game and even created a collision to kind of counter. They needed to step their game up. So I'm going to do A minus because you don't have to be perfect. And sometimes you grade on a curve. And I think WWE is so much better since Vince has been gone. Shoot, Vince took over Raw one night when we were there and look how dog shit it was. So it just shows that how good Triple H has done. And I know maybe in hindsight, people will think maybe a B minus or a C because WWE's not perfect. But people are getting put. I mean, he brought Trish Stratus back for crying out loud. And you know that has to do with Vince leaving. So there's just so many things being, and even though Karrion Kross, LA Knight, Bray Wyatt, there's been people who have failed. Nothing's perfect. I'm going to go A minus.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm one of those people. I'm going to say B minus.
All right.
I think he's made Raw and SmackDown. I feel if we're grading him on pay-per-views, he's a solid A. There's not been a bad pay-per-view since Triple H took over. All the pay-per-views have been great. But as far as booking week to week, I got to give him a low B. Just because of, like you said, Karrion Kross, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Damage Control, all these people that he brought back that are kind of have fallen by the wayside. The couple episodes of Monday Night Raw where Dexter Lumis was wreaking havoc and causing stuff. He was causing car accidents backstage, and he is getting escorted out by security. And then now he's not even on TV, and he doesn't really have a character. Johnny Gargano hasn't really done anything since he's been to the main roster. And then everything that happened with the draft. And I think it's because the reason why I keep harping on the draft is because he came out and specifically said, he cut the announcement about the return of the draft, and he said it was going to be game changing, and it was going to be, it's going to make or break new superstars, and we're going to have a new era of the WWE. He came out and said all this. They could have just, done like hey, the draft is next week, and we wouldn't. I don't think I would have cared so much, but because he came out, it made me feel like this draft is going to be super important, and even a weekend, you're having Raw versus SmackDown with Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles, and now, Sami Zayn and KO drafted to Raw with both sets of titles, and then Rhea Ripley holding the SmackDown title on Monday Night Raw, and Bianca Belair and now Asuka holding the Raw title on SmackDown. And I don't know. And then everything that happened with the Workhorse title and the title exclusive to Raw, but it's being defended on NXT. And I mean, Raw and SmackDown have been so much better. The Bloodline story has been great, but everything else, I feel like Triple H has taken some L's, and I think he needs to take a couple of L's.
All right. I agree with that. Yeah. All right. You ready? This would be an easy one. How do you grade the Trish Stratus and Zoey Stark's group so far, their little faction?
A. I think this is a solid A so far. I think this is it's given Zoey Stark a huge rub that, if you're not going to have her in the title picture, this is the next best place for her to be. Trish Stratus can make anybody look like $1 million because she looks like $1 million. And I think Zoey Stark is one of the future women's champions. And I think having this program with Trish, having this alliance with her against Becky Lynch. I mean, how often Becky Lynch is one of the biggest stars in WWE, and especially on the women's roster. And we've yet to see Rhea Ripley against Becky Lynch. We've yet to see Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. But Zoey Stark, one of her first matches is going to be against Becky Lynch on the main roster, and I think that's huge, and that's all because of Trish Stratus. So I got to give it an A.
I agree, and I'm going to go A+. I'm going to say this has been perfect, and I got to say A+. And the thing that I love about it is that I was watching Zoey Stark come out. Okay, she has a Money in the Bank qualifying match, and I was so just amazed at the fact that Trish B-roll says, MWO, if he gave it a bad grade, what would you have done? I don't know, booked a flight and kicked somebody's butt in North Carolina. So yeah, JK,
his internet would die again, and I'd be
my internet would die. Yeah, I'm over this. But no, Trish. Just think about it. Trish Stratus is a Hall of Famer. She hasn't been around forever. She decides to come back to wrestle in this feud with Becky Lynch, and now has decided to take an NXT star and put her under the wings and be her manager. Basically, Trish freaking Stratus has come back full time to push Zoey Stark. She was in her corner pushing her. She's promoting her for her. She has her in her shirt. Thank you, Trish. Imagine Zoey Stark, how great that is. That this woman who literally is getting paid and doesn't need to do this at all has decided to come back and push you as a person. I think this is amazing. It's working. Zoey Stark is the phenomenal heel, as is Trish. Good job. Thank you, Trish, and thank you, Triple H, because this is magic.
Yeah, this is money. This is great.
I'm all for it. And I think Zoey Stark's, man, how cool is that? Now, every day you don't get a star like this. This is level of evolution and things like that. When our RKO, this is that same type of thing where you're getting a young person who's going to be a star with when Zoey Stark's 8 years from now is a star and we talk about it, you're going to look back at this moment being remember when Trish pushed her? These are those times. So.
All right. I agree. All right. I'm going to go over to NXT for this one.
Nice.
Because we might, again, yet another faction may be on the outs, but how would you grade Schism as a whole?
I had the same question on one of mine. That's hilarious. Oh man. Okay. I have a Schism shirt. I love Schism. I love them. I want them to succeed. I want them to be big. I love Ava Reigns. I just love them all. I'm going to do a C-. I'm going to say a C-. I think they have been booked awful. I think they've been wasted. I think you don't need champions. I feel like they were a Riot type thing where they didn't need belts to succeed, but they don't ever win. Joe Gacy is this guy who's running his mouth, but he loses all the time. It's Ava Rain is, they got the win this week and I get that, but then they went and just had Joe Gacy lose right out. Why was Joe Gacy losing to Ali? You couldn't have Ali take that L. I don't know. It's all just weird to me. I think minus their look and their feel, Schism has been a huge, huge disappointment. I think a C- is generous just because I really like them.
Yeah. I'm going to go D. I like them. I want them to be successful, but you also have the dyad in that group too.
Mm-hmm.
And they maybe requested their releases, but they didn't, but maybe they did, but they didn't get granted. So now as punishment, they lose every match that they're in too, because nobody asked for their release from the WWE without punishment. Yeah. And then, Joe Gacy, you had Baron Corbin, and who's now probably your biggest star in NXT, go maybe 15, 20 minutes with Trick Williams, but you had Joe Gacy lose to Mustafa Ali in less than 3 minutes. It's just makes no sense. And they even teased at the end there that Joe Gacy is either, I think he said that he's the one that's letting them down. He's the one that's disappointing them. And he's tired of it. So either he's going to turn over a new leaf and start winning, or they're going to get tired of him and they're going to start winning and he's going to be kicked out of the group. But either way, I really wanted Schism to be successful, but at this point, I think they are what they are. And yeah, I think I like that Ava Rain got a victory this week, but it meant nothing when Joe Gacy lost in less than 3 minutes to Ali in his debut match. So D for me.
True that. And it does look like another faction is breaking up.
Yeah, I know. They're all breaking up at the same exact time.
All right, let's go to what I was saying. Grade the new Universal title for Roman Reigns.
Oh, I knew this question was coming. All right. At first, when that title was first revealed, I'd give it an F. When that title was first, I was like, oh my
You texted
God,
me
that's
crapping on it.
yeah. I was like, that's hideous. It is ugly. But then I went and looked at it on like WWE Shop because I put all the titles in my cart. I haven't told my wife this, but I'm gonna buy one day. I haven't bought one. Haven't bought it.
All right.
But they're in my cart. So whenever she gives me I guess I will have to tell her because I got to ask her permission if I can spend $400 on a title belt.
That's how it works.
But it is. But and I thought the same thing about the World Heavyweight Championship too. That it was hideous. But then when they unveiled it, or when you saw it on the website, I thought it looked a lot better. I was like, okay, I like this title. I think it's pretty dope. And I think maybe I didn't like it at first because of the lighting in the arena. It was just a lot of it. I think it was all supposed to be gold around the big W, but it looked really yellow to me. It looked like Roman Reigns didn't like it based on his reaction when he got it. He was like smiling. I couldn't tell if he was like happy that he was getting a new title or was like, oh my gosh, this is hideous. Like I want those. I want those other 2 titles. So after the unveiling, I thought it was an F. But after a little bit and seeing Roman Reigns on TikTok holding the belt away from the lighting, I give it a C+. I don't think it's not the ugliest looking title I've seen, but I think it's not the. I mean, I wasn't expecting the Winged Eagle to come back. I wasn't expecting Roman to have his own Smoking Skull title or a Spinner title or something with like I guess the Superman logo since he does the Superman punch on it or something. I don't know, but it's kind of what I was expecting. But I was expecting a little bit of a different design. I don't really like the big W in the middle, but it is what it is, and I give it a C+.
All right, I like it. I always like this title. I like this title. I like the logo. I always thought this was a really good looking title. I hate color. I've always been a title belt. That's why I don't like I didn't like the tag team, men's tag team. I don't like color. It needs to just be gold. Gold belts is what championships are. They turned it gold. I like it. I just wanted to mention too that I said I hated Seth Rollins' belt. Then I said I kind of liked it. I hate it again. Watching him wear it and stuff, they messed up with the giant circle WWE logo. It looks like a hot mess. It looks like 3 different belts combined in one. I don't like it. I do like the women's tag team titles. I've always liked them, and seeing them on Ronda and Shayna, those are good looking titles. WWE does some good titles. Some of their belts, like the US title, is really pretty. It's a good looking belt. I know that has some color, but it's US. It makes sense. You need the red, white, and blue. But I really, really like Roman's title. I'm gonna go B+ just because it's the same title. I can't give it an A because it's recycled.
Yeah,
I thought at least they'd change it a little bit. Just so to make it feel instead of blue and red, and now it's or whatever black. But I do like the gold. I like it. I think it should have always been gold, and I like this look because this is a rehash of the belt that The Rock had. Remember The Rock when he got his new belt when he beat Punk? It was the big WWE on it. I like the belt. I think it looks good, and I like the gold. And I think it's better than Seth Rollins' belts. So I'll do B+. Yeah, I still think AEW does better belts, but this is